Nike just released a brand new commercial featuring Caitlin Clark and her new Kobe shoe that she released today. And I saw this commercial yesterday on social media. I thought it was so cool. There's a shot when she's in the locker room and she opens her eye and it like turns into what looks like a snake eye, but when you zoom in, it's actually the Kobe.
A'ja Wilson is furious when Nike pulled the ultimate corporate plot twist. Nike finally woke up and smelt the reality check after spending millions on Wilson's brand for years while watching Caitlin Clark burn the internet down every time she breathes near a basketball.
He finally delivers Caitlin Clark PE. Is this the first Caitlin Clark exclusive Nike commercial since she's entered the WNBA? I know she's made a cameo here, she's made a cameo there, she was featured as part of this rollout here, featured as part of this rollout there, but is this our first official Caitlin Clark solo commercial since she has joined the WNBA?
All along, they have been placing bets on the incorrect horse. And A'ja is having a complete breakdown now that they are focusing on the woman who actually moves merchandise. It's not only about shoes, people. In 2025, Nike will finally acknowledge that they have been favoring someone whose trainers gather dust, while Clark's items cause their website to crash more quickly than a dial-up connection.
Caitlin Clark and Nike are officially dropping Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever player-exclusive Kobe 5s in just a couple weeks. So this shoe was first seen being worn by Caitlin and was thought to be a colorway made just for her up until just a couple days ago, where Nike's official images of the shoes got leaked and the announcement was made saying that everyone will now have a chance to wear them.
Even when your ego wants it to, maths is truthful. So let's talk about numbers. Indeed, back in May, A'ja Wilson's Nike A1 trainer sold out in 5 minutes. It seems amazing until you learn that they only produced a small amount, essentially generating fictitious scarcity. In the meantime, 13,000 pairs disappear in a matter of minutes as Caitlin Clark announces a collaboration with Kobe. Minutes, not 5.
Well, I don't think I'd be in the wrong to say Caitlin Clark's Kobe is the spear of the week, and everyone's focus is mostly on this one. If you really wanted that shoe, I hope you put your footwork in, because there's supposedly only 13,000 pairs of sneakers at tomorrow. Combine that with a really high resale value, I expect this shoe to be a relatively difficult call. But my hope seriously is that with Caitlin Clark's sneaker coming out, that this sets a precedent and we might see other exclusive player edition Kobe's drop for the public.
Not only did the Nike website slow down, it essentially gave itself up to the troops of Caitlin Clark. On the secondary market, resale values instantly soared to $350.00 to $600.00. Clark's goods doesn't simply sell out when it first hits the market. Because of the feeding frenzy it causes, Black Friday appears to be a casual yard sale.
These things is some fire. I'm telling you, where there's smoke, there is fire, and these things is hitting so hard. And who got a bot? Who a shoe plug? Because I need 2 pairs. I need one for the sneaker wall, and I need one for my feet, because these things is hitting right here. No, I don't want to pay $600.
This is where things get hot, though. Nike gave A'ja the royal treatment as they developed their signature collection over the course of 2 solid years. Personal design input, unique logos, etc. They led her to include words from her grandmother, Celtic symbols for her parents, and enough personal touches to create a scrapbook with laces for the family.
I lost all respect for A'ja Wilson. I don't want to hear her opinions. I don't care what she has to say from this point on. When you keep a Nike deal 2 years in secret while you're spewing all that crazy stuff about Caitlin Clark in the Time magazine, read it. Read what she said in the Time magazine. Yet you had a Nike deal the whole entire time?
While wearing Kobe hand-me-downs that sell Wilson's handmade creations by margins that would make a mathematician cry, Caitlin Clark is still waiting for her genuine signature shoe. Wilson received all she requested and more from Nike. However, Wilson's meticulously constructed brand statements don't seem to create as much excitement as Clark's leftovers.
So it's finally here. Caitlin Clark sneakers from Nike is finally dropping. She was signed to them last year, and the sneakers is a year late in my opinion, but nonetheless I'm excited because these sneakers is finally coming out. But what does annoy me a little bit is that this is a collaboration with Kobe. Now, Kobe, respect to Kobe, the legend, rest in peace, great basketball player. But in my opinion, Caitlin Clark is a big enough star and she's creating her own legacy. So I feel like, at least for her first sneaker, it shouldn't be a collaboration with any other player, dead or alive, in my opinion. I feel like Caitlin should have, for her first shoe, had her own original design just for her, no collaboration.
Subscribe if you're enjoying it. Let's also talk about the obvious problem: A'ja Wilson's self-centeredness. This woman has been vying for attention as if she were a candidate for basketball president. She received her signature sneaker and conversation-starting personalized logo. The meaning of translation is unknown. She continues to act as though the world owes her something because of her Nike ads, which were directed by Malia Obama. Clark, meanwhile, simply shows up, plays hoops, and unintentionally establishes himself as Nike's most marketable player since Michael Jordan. While Clark is winning respect by filling arenas and crashing websites without even trying, Wilson is out there demanding it.
And all this was done while the shoe's being developed, while the collection's being done. To demonize Caitlin Clark and try to label her as a privileged white girl that's getting all the privileges, even though she earned everything she got. This ain't about color. This is about good and bad. And I find this a little evil. I find this evil. This is beyond bad, because you had the ability to speak up and say, hey, everybody, relax. Don't get on Caitlin Clark. She got a shoe deal. That's cool. I got one too. Mine's taking a little bit, but it's going to come out. Just be patient. She could have came out and said that, but she didn't.
The most amusing aspect is that Nike genuinely attempted to make this work. They extended Wilson's contract by more than $20 million, developed whole advertising campaigns centered around her diamond-in-the-rough persona, and promoted her narrative more aggressively than a commission-driven used car salesperson. However, what Caitlin Clark possesses naturally cannot be produced. Without even having to work for it, Clark became Nike's most valuable asset when he signed her on an 8-year, $28 million zero deal. It's millions of dollars in free advertisement every time she takes the court in Nike gear. Wilson needs storylines, production crews, and meticulously constructed tales. Clark simply must be there.
Nike did not fumble Caitlin Clark. It takes years and years of research and development and building and designing and trialing and erroring to build a custom shoe line. Caitlin Clark has played in only Kobe 5s and Kobe 6s almost exclusively for like the last 3 or 4 years. If they are building a shoe for Caitlin Clark, that Caitlin Clark is going to wear, that she's going to sell, that she's going to give away to her teammates, to her fans, to whomever, it has to be as good as, if not better, than the Kobe 5 or 6. And there's new Kobe variants out, and she doesn't wear them. She signed a $28 million 10-year contract with Nike. Year 2. We're in year 2 of that. The shoes are coming. They have to design them. It takes several years for this to happen. We're not just doing a colorway like Paige Beck.
Caitlin Clark's economic impact for Iowa alone was $82.5 million, demonstrating that she is a cultural force in addition to being a basketball star. Nike, on the other hand, missed what many seen as a clear chance in favor of boosting A'ja Wilson. A former Nike executive even publicly chastised the corporation for failing to notice Clark. Given that Nike stock fell to its lowest level in 5 years, it is evident that their approach did not reflect the needs of the market or the general public.
For stock price since 2021, it is down nearly 60%. Your executives and the people who are making these decisions, their stock options are worthless. Meanwhile, you have the single biggest needle mover in all of American sports since Michael Jordan, and you have somehow convinced yourself that you need to slow play this. Let me show you Google Trends search traffic for 4 female basketball players. There is one who only rivals Caitlin Clark, and that is Angel Reese, and you do not have her. She is over at Reebok. I am so confused as to how you would be so invested in the WNBA for several years, and you have been doing great work to try to elevate and uplift that league and many of the athletes there. But this seems like you have convinced yourself that this needs to be an either-or conversation. And we never have an either-or conversation in the men's sports. You have like 10 signature athletes. Half of them don't deserve a signature.
Nike is slowly waking up. A'ja Wilson's meticulously planned launch was subtly overshadowed, while Caitlin Clark's Kobe shoe drop almost brought down the internet. whereas Clark only posts once. Fans are lined up like it's a supreme release, whereas Wilson need months of promotion to move inventory. It's a dramatic contrast. The thing that hurts the most is that Nike is finally admitting what everyone else already knew. Clark sells dreams, not just shoes. Wilson is finding it difficult to stay up with a game that is changing quickly, and Caitlin Clark is the future. The market has spoken, and the message is obvious.
I just felt like across the board, this commercial was a 10 for 10. And a lot of people have been getting on Nike because they don't feel like they have been promoting Caitlin as much as they should. But I will say we have to give credit where credit is due. I feel like in the past month or so, they have been tweeting about Caitlin more. And then obviously with this shoe release, they made this super sick commercial to promote it. And of course, just today, Caitlin Clark's new Kobe PE shoe sold out in less than a minute. And I saw so many tweets about this, so many people who were so sad that they missed out on this shoe. I saw that there was this one Dick's store and people were lined up around the corner like camping out trying to get the shoe.
Nike ignored Caitlin Clark's natural ascent in an attempt to create buzz around Aya Wilson. Despite having every advantage, Wilson was unable to match Clark's genuine fan connection. Clark became the face of women's basketball by being exceptional. She didn't ask to be it. Wilson, meantime, has been vying for the title as though it were hers.
I find it very deplorable to me. I find it very deplorable that you allow Caitlin Clark to get crapped on that whole entire time and even speak up. And on top of that, Nike's a bunch of a-holes too, because they didn't speak up and defend Caitlin Clark or speak up and say, hey, we got Aja's shoe coming. We got Aja's shoe coming. Just gotta be patient. Caitlin Clark's gonna get hers too. I don't understand the tactics here. All you're causing controversy that didn't have to be there. You're calling division where it didn't have to be there. You're calling racial, issues where it didn't have to be there.
Not only is Nike's course correction wise, it's a matter of survival. As they supported Wilson, Clark was advancing the WNBA independently, packing arenas around the country and attracting over 1 million spectators per game. Young fans are wearing her jersey around, like a superhero cape. That is genuine cultural effect, not marketing. Fans flocked to Nike's website to get a pair when her Kobe collaboration was released. For basketball fans, Clark's releases feel like Christmas, while Wilson's feel like Judy's.
You finally put her in a Super Bowl campaign with 9 other women, and all respect to them, but none of them are moving the needle quite like she is. Your tagline in that was "You can't win, so win." One of the best explanations I can come up with is that you are wringing your hands and afraid to enter into this politically divisive conversation that has been co-opted by the media and pundits who are race baiting and doing all kinds of ridiculous things around women's basketball. You can't win, so win. You have the unicorn, the chosen one, the one who everyone wants to hear from, and you were just sitting around Gatorade, State Farm, Game Bridge, Wilson Basketball, have all figured out how to have a point of view with Caitlin Clark. Please, for the love of God, figure something out.
It's difficult to overlook the irony. Caitlin Clark subtly transformed into everything Wilson claimed to be, while Aya Wilson spent years clamoring for recognition, attention, and a signature shoe. Clark earned it via unquestionable excellence. She didn't campaign or whine. Wilson now observes from the sidelines as Clark emerges as the star as Nike at last faces reality. Nike's website goes down when Clark drops merchandise. A billion-dollar corporation is overrun by a 23-year-old Iowan. It's history in the making, not just hype. Clark's releases generate earthquakes. Wilson's cause ripples.
That Nike stocked about 14,000 of these, and that is an unconfirmed report, but they sold out in less than a minute. If that's any indication of what a Caitlin Clark signature shoe will do, I think Nike better continue to get on it and get ready to launch this brand for.
The figures don't care about sentiments, and the market doesn't lie. Wilson may win all the MVP awards and titles, but Clark possesses something that cannot be taught or replicated. Genuine star power that generates actual income. Nike came to the realization that placing a wager on Wilson was akin to purchasing Blockbuster while disregarding the women's basketball equivalent of Netflix. Nike is now subtly turning its attention to Clark, the one who truly makes the difference. As Wilson deals with her, "I thought I was the chosen one" moment. Clark's shoes appeal to everyone, including children, parents, casuals, and everyone who simply wants to be a part of greatness, whereas Wilson's shoes may appeal to ardent fans who have something to prove. That is how mass market domination differs from specialized support.
Nike released the shoe this morning for $190. That was the going rate for the signature sneaker. Now, I'm here to tell you, as you guys can see right here on Google, just type in Caitlin Clark Kobe 5. StockX, currently right now, they're going for $345. On GOAT, they're going for $386. In Flight Club, you're looking at $375. Must mind you, these sneakers was just released a few hours ago. These sneakers were retail for $190. This is the Caitlin Clark Defect.
While Caitlin Clark, the real star, was selling out venues and sporting competing footwear, Nike spent millions on Aya Wilson. They now understand that Clark is more than just a player. She is a phenomenon with boundless appeal. Nike ultimately joined the winning side after the market already selected